Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's 8 o'clock. When you see me, it's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, so we have an exceptional conversation today. Now, y'all know we got together and we watched NFL honors, right? And right before the award that everybody wanted to see, NFL MVP, we had been on for 2 hours and 35 minutes, so we called it a night. And then NFL MVP for 2025 was awarded. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So I'll give everybody a minute to hop on and see who's with us tonight. And it's Saturday. Tomorrow is the day, the Super Bowl. So I'll just put on some music and see if some people join us, to see if anybody from the squad decides to join us today. You never know. Everybody's out and about. Could be a short live. But in the meantime, I'll just see who joins us. As y'all can see, I got the background together. Shout out to everybody who was with us yesterday. Yesterday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we were live again for 2 hours, about 2 hours and 14 minutes. And we had an excellent conversation. And everybody that I could tell that was in the chat hit the like button. So I appreciate it. So I'm just going to chill out until somebody joins us and see who's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see somebody's here. Hit the like button for me, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see two of you. All right. So I'm going to see if the squad shows up so we can have a conversation about the real NFL MVP. Who was nominated, who won, and who should have won. All right. So I'll be here for a second until somebody lets me know who's out there. I see two of y'all out there. Hit the like button or something. All right. So I always get started with an intro story. So I'm going to get started with the intro story. So I was watching Jameis Winston today. Young man is smart, intelligent. And he was on Stephen A's podcast. And he was talking, they were talking about, his time in the NFL because he doesn't have a team. And, he's had some good seasons, some bad seasons. And they got to talking about Shador. Stephen A asked him who he think he would pick between Shador and Cam. And he picked Shador. We're going to talk about that. And then also, too, he was talking about, Stephen A said, what do you want a team to know about you? He said, look, know that I'm capable of winning and I want to win. And I was thinking to myself when I was listening to him talk, he's very intelligent. He is. He's very intelligent. But you know what I think about Jameis Winston? I think Jameis Winston was before his time. What do I mean by that? They seem happy to have him being a comedian, being an MC, doing the NFL Super Bowl because he's funny than it is a quarterback. And I just think that he came along in an era when they were truly resistant to black quarterbacks. And he and Stephen A talked about that. And he said, I think he's from Alabama. And he was talking about, how when he was in college, NFL quarterbacks weren't perceived as leaders. Remember, we're on a cusp of change here. 2025, ushering in a new wave of quarterbacks. I think Stephen A pointed out that in 2024, 32, I think NFL had the most black quarterbacks that it had. And we talked about what this draft class is going to do, right? So, to me, I think he just came before we got to the point where they were truly accepting of black quarterbacks. And what I mean by that is, I keep saying people should go and watch Evolution of a Black Quarterback because you get to see the James Harris, the Warren Moon. I think it was Warren Moon had to go to Canada first to be recognized before the NFL would recognize him. And they said currently he's still the only black quarterback in the Hall of Fame. and he had to go to Canada first. So the roadblocks for black quarterbacks are many. And I think it kind of segues into the entire NFL MVP, with Lamar Jackson being a candidate and Josh Allen winning. And Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, were in the same draft class. And if anybody, knows that Lamar Jackson went dead last in the first round, whereas Josh Allen and some of the other quarterbacks all went top 10. So they just let Lamar sit. And I was listening to Jameis Winston talk about how they want, the black quarterbacks to use their legs. Then they don't want them to be a thought leadership. They keep using the term high level as if you don't have the ability to be cerebral. And Shedeur checks off all of those boxes. That's why it's hard to deny him. Jaden Daniels checks off those boxes. That's why it's hard to deny him. CJ Stroud. So you see this younger generation, it's not easy for them. It's not easier for them. But I felt like when Lamar came in 2018, I felt like they gave Lamar Jackson a hard time. And after that, the NFL started to change. And as we got to 2020, things started to change even more so. And I know I've said on this podcast, I feel like, and remember, just because you see change doesn't mean everybody's with the change. Doesn't mean everybody supports the change. Everybody helps to facilitate the change. So while Lamar Jackson coming in was pivotal, they wanted to switch Lamar Jackson to wide receiver. That was just in 2018. I know it's 2025, but remember 2020, right? So Lamar Jackson was pivotal in a way. It wasn't just about the dual threat quarterback. It was about the black quarterback standing firm on, you're not about to switch me to wide receiver because you don't want me to be a quarterback. That was still a time they were fighting the black quarterback. So it seems like since 2020, you see more of, the NFL within racism, social justice. You see Jay-Z coming on with the halftime shows, really changing the NFL and more than just sports, but it's sports and entertainment. Like Beyonce, Shabooey, Jelly Roll, and what's his name, Post Malone. Remember, they did the Christmas halftime show for the Texans and the Ravens. And right before that, Shabooey had done the Detroit Lions, and he did an excellent job. Him and somebody else, the Detroit Lions halftime show. So we're seeing change. And I feel like Jameis Winston, if he was coming out of college right now, it might not be as difficult as it was. But Jalen Milroe catches a lot of flack. And when you think of it that Jalen Milroe went to an SEC school, you think they would be happy. But they give him flack. I've heard people say ridiculous things like his hands are too small. I've heard people say his accuracy is not good. And he under 10 yards, not overall. And I just heard Jameis Winston defend Shedeur Sanders for his arm strength. But when it comes to Jackson Dart, you have not heard one negative thing from the mainstream media, but Jackson Dart didn't take his team to an SEC championship. Jalen Milroe did, right? Jalen Milroe did. So to hear Jameis Winston, make his case, also defend Shedeur. Stephen A. brought up the whole arm strength thing again. I thought he was done with that when Coach Prime went on his show, but he brought it up again, and he makes it really seem like it's an issue. And I like how Justin Jameis defended Shedeur. He said Shedeur clearly doesn't have any arm strength issues. He can throw a ball 80 yards. Thank you. We talked about this already, but they still want to harp on that. Kyle McCord, I couldn't even tell you his weaknesses because they don't even talk about it. They had Ohio State's quarterback, Will Howard, going in the third round. They have Dylan Gabriel going in the third round. You don't even know why they truly like Cam Ward. I think they're like, he's the number one quarterback. I told y'all yesterday, some of these guys, and this segues into our NFL MVP conversation, some of these guys are placeholders to keep certain people off the stage. And with everybody knowing Shador is the number one quarterback in college football, I feel like they're like, well, if I got to pick between Cam and Shador, I'm going to put Cam here as a placeholder so Shador can't go first. Right? And a lot of people forget. It took Travis Hunter a minute to get some credibility with the Heisman candidacy, because at one point they didn't want Shador or Travis to be a Heisman candidate and to be a Heisman winner. They didn't want either one. They warmed up to Travis. So there's a lot of obstinance, a lot of hatred. It's funny, I'm still hearing different people defend Shador. You know, you heard Coach Prime yesterday, you know, explain his escapability is excellent. He can get out of that pocket with the best of them. His arm can't be weak. He's a deep ball quarterback. Like Jameis Winston said, 80 yards. What are we talking about? He's one of the most accurate quarterback. But they still talking about his arm strength, anything for him not to go first. So Jameis Winston, in my opinion, he's in an era where he came out of school where they wanted Lamar Jackson to switch from quarterback to wide receiver. That's the era he came out in, before Lamar Jackson. That's the era Jameis Winston in. They wanted him to back up this one, back up Drew Brees, back up this one, back up, Tampa Bay. But he was never seen as the guy. But they happy to have him as an MC in New Orleans, all over the place, talking about his most viral moments, making everybody laugh. So to me, he just came out too early. Too early in terms of what the thought process was regarding black quarterbacks. Now you can't deny him. You can't deny CJ Stroud. You can't deny Jaden Daniels. You can't deny Shador Sanders. And they're gonna try to figure out what to say for next year. They're probably trying to figure it out right now. And who is they? The media. The media. And you have some people within the NFL, you just don't see them. You just don't see them. I heard a guy say he wants to go coach college football now because Bill Belichick makes it look good. I'm like, who? Like Coach Prime didn't do it. I'm like, that's the kind of resistance that I'm talking about. It's not like he didn't know who Coach Prime was. He just chose to see Bill Belichick. So what I'm saying is, Jameis Winston came out of college at a time when they chose not to see black quarterbacks. And I don't know if he's going to land on a team or not, but it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't. I said how I truly feel about guys being used as placeholders. I really believe they're using Cam Ward to keep Shador out the number one spot in terms of conversation. Not that Cam Ward's not a good quarterback. Not that he's not a good quarterback. I think they're the same quarterback. That's what makes it hilarious. They try to push Shador down and elevate Cam Ward, but they really don't even talk about Cam Ward. It's just like only when it comes to the number one spot. That's it. You know nothing else about Cam Ward. Nothing else. We know because we watch him with Shador. We know they are the same quarterback. That's what makes it hilarious on like an inside joke, because it's like we know they're the same quarterback. They don't even know they got the same quarterback coach. Why? Because they don't even want to acknowledge that young man is one hell of a quarterback coach. They don't want to acknowledge a few things. They don't want to acknowledge that the number one and number two quarterback in the NFL draft has one quarterback coach, Daryl Colbert Jr., who probably should be on somebody's NFL staff, to be honest. This young man has the top 1 and 2 quarterbacks. And for people that didn't know, Shador Sanders convinced Cam Ward to stay behind this year and complete another college football season. And you see what it did for his draft stock. They don't know their friends. The medium, they just trying to, pick them apart as if they're the same. I've watched them work out. They are the same quarterback. They are the same quarterback. And that's what makes it hilarious. So we watched them try to pick Travis and Shador against each other with the Heisman. That didn't work when Shador said, the Heisman ain't the goal. Travis even said it one time, the Heisman not the goal. So that just kind of waved it off. And I think it was when Shador had posted Travis Hunter for the Heisman. That ended all of the pitting them against each other. They weren't able to do it. So now it's Cam Ward and Shador. And the hilarity is they are the same quarterback. So the whole weak arm issue, Jameis Winston brought up The fact that he's a deep ball quarterback, 80 yards, accuracy, consistently. He and Cam Ward both. He also brought up how Shador is also the most NFL-ready quarterback because he's been through adversity. That's exactly what Coach Prime said yesterday. That's what I said last week. Shador is the most battle-tested NFL quarterback. They don't want media, and some other people don't want to acknowledge that Shador is the most NFL-ready quarterback who has already faced a plethora of adversity that maybe some of them quarterbacks probably would have gave up on. And when I say they, I'm talking about the media because we don't really hear from people within the NFL. We just hear from media pundits. So when I say they, I'm talking about the media. So it was nice to see Jameis Winston defend Shador Sanders. It was nice for him to be able to state his case in the NFL. But it was also nice for him to acknowledge that, black quarterbacks haven't had it easy. They didn't used to look at them for thought leadership. They only looked at them for using their legs. He talked about how James Harris was successful in the pocket. So I always wondered if that's why they hated on Lamar Jackson. But honestly, no, because you would think Lamar Jackson was the first dual threat quarterback. It's Michael Vick. So I never really understood the hatred for Lamar Jackson, other than the fact that they wanted him to switch to wide receiver, and he said no. So now Jalen Milroe at Alabama, an SEC school, has taken his school to an SEC title. Whether they won or not, he took them there. He's being hated on when that's the prototype that they wanted. They want the SEC to be dominant. They would want a quarterback from the SEC. But because it's Jalen Milroe, and I don't know what his issue is, I know he said something about California. I didn't hear anything for them to pick him apart. His hand's too small. I'm like, what? This man took his team to an SEC championship either as a first-year quarterback or a very young quarterback under Nick Saban, and y'all don't have nothing but hatred for him? He gets the same hatred as Lamar Jackson. I do not understand it. I've not heard anybody say Jalen Milroe was asked to switch to quarterback, and he said no. So why they hating on Jalen Milroe? Is it a bigger issue? And that's what we get ready to pivot to. Let's see who's in the chat. All right, y'all. So I see somebody. I see Gracie. Hey, Gracie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We missed you the last couple of days. Regina held it down for you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today we're talking about the real NFL MVP. It's supposed to be a debate. We'll see if anybody else joins. I just want to get people's perspective. As you know, were you on when we watched the NFL honors? We watched the NFL honors together. We were on for about 2.5 hours. And I think we got to the last, I think we said goodnight right before the NFL MVP award. So tonight we're supposed to be talking about NFL MVP, who was nominated, who won, and who should have won. There's a lot of, it's actually a good topic. What's up? Hey, yeah, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about NFL MVP right now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here because I know you're going to have some input. NFL MVP, who was nominated, who won, or we can just go straight to who won, and then we'll eventually get to who should have won, and we might talk about who was nominated. So I'll start with, I know that Saquon Barkley was nominated. I know that Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrows, and not Matthew Stafford, but who was the other guy? Let me see. It's one more guy. I feel like it's Detroit's quarterback. NFL MVP. Let's see. I feel like it was Detroit's quarterback, and I can't remember his last name right now. Oh, let's see. All right. So who were the finalists? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Okay, well, I'm not worried about the last person. So Saquon Barkley came in third. Lamar Jackson, and from what I understand, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, then Saquon Barkley. So that's why I put the three of them up here. All right. So whether you know it or not, the three of them were in a race for NFL MVP. Now, Lamar Jackson had the best season in terms of when the MVP race stopped, because it don't count in the postseason, right? So Lamar Jackson, the numbers he put up, insane numbers. It's like he was a lock for it, right? Then you have Josh Allen, who went on to lose against Kansas City in the bid for the Super Bowl. Y'all know Kansas City is playing tomorrow, Philadelphia, right? So it's Josh Allen. He lost the AFC Championship? And then it's Saquon Barkley. So when I was listening to and Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows won comeback player of the year because of his wrist. I think last year they said Damar Hamlin was up for it. It wasn't this year. Joe Flacco won over Damar Hamlin, which is crazy to me because I don't know how anybody could have beat Damar Hamlin for comeback player of the year. And so these three remain, right? It says, I miss being with you guys. Yes, I was with you doing the honors. Okay, good. All right. So when the names were called, I noticed it wasn't a whole lot because a lot of people I felt like they were stunned, and then some people weren't surprised, and some people had a lot to say. So Josh Allen won over Saquon Barkley and Lamar Jackson. Now, Emmanuel Acho is the guy who's on the facility with, I think that's a Fox show. And he's never anybody that I tend to agree with his takes. And they always seem to border kissing up. It's like he can't be real. Like he was hating on Angel Reese. Like he was trying to get favor from somebody, so he wanted to hate on Angel Reese. This was last year. And then now he's saying, I voted for Josh Allen because he said, I switched my vote. I guess he was going to vote for Lamar. Then he switched his vote. So he said he emailed the AP person, I guess somebody that knows what the categories are or whatever. And they talked about comeback player of the year isn't somebody a player in the NFL that comes back from being sorry. Like if you had a horrible season and then you at the beginning and you come back at the end. He said it's coming back from injury. So that's why Joe Burrow won, because he broke his wrist, he came back, he balled out, he was the NFL MVP. Now, I think Lamar Jackson was like all pro. He won. They expect you to win MVP. But Josh Allen wasn't up for the all pro, right? So I hear Emmanuel Acho. He reads books. So he voted for Josh Allen because unfortunately I read books. And he was told that the category for MVP is not the best quarterback. He said in college, the Heisman is for the best quarterback. So he's like, but in the NFL, it's not for the best person. It's for the person's contribution, the most valuable person. I'm like, are you serious right now? So he say that's why he voted for Josh Allen, because Lamar Jackson had the best season, but he wasn't necessarily the most valuable. I'm like, then what the hell is going on with Saquon Barkley then? Because you're not going to tell me Saquon Barkley is not the most valuable while Josh Allen is at home. What are we talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. In New Orleans, not playing in the Super Bowl. So what kind of explanation is that to say, well, Josh Allen was more valuable? Why? Why was he more valuable? Tell me why. Because he's not playing in the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is playing in the Super Bowl and he came in third. And nobody denies. I don't care who your favorite team is. Nobody denies that Saquon Barkley is the difference maker for Philadelphia. So how is he not the most valuable? He's actually playing in the damn Super Bowl. So this is the kind of foolishness that tends to happen when you use people as a placeholder or a pawn to keep people off the stage. So they gave Josh Allen. Now you can go read it for yourself. There are people who believe Josh Allen became MVP because people pitied him. He got the pity vote because he had been up for it multiple times and didn't win, because he lost multiple times against Kansas City. I'm like, what? That's what we doing? Or did he get it because he was drafted in the same class with Lamar Jackson and he went top 10, and they left Lamar Jackson to sit there dead last? And they know damn well they weren't going to give him this MVP one more time, because what does that do? Make them look foolish. Make their credibility shot. So either he got the pity vote, Josh Allen got the pity vote, or he's a placeholder to keep Lamar Jackson off the stage for getting his third MVP. And if Emmanuel Acho reads books, then he should have known that he should have voted for Saquon Barkley. If he understands the word valuable, he said it's about the best contribution, the more valuable to your team. But you don't vote for Saquon Barkley. Bro, get out of here. Just get out of here. I mean, that's just a butt kisser if I don't know what it is. To say something like that. So, and I like Josh Allen, but let's just be real. If you're not the best, and you ain't at the Super Bowl, and another nominee is, how is he not the most valuable? That's called logic. So these awards are not chosen based on logic. They're chosen because, oh, Josh Allen has been up for it so many times, and he just didn't win it. And oh, Josh, I didn't hear any. It's funny how people pitied Josh Allen when they lost to Kansas City, but all I heard about Lamar Jackson is what? Oh, he can't win the big games. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. For whatever reason, both of them tight ends couldn't hold on to the damn ball when it counted. But Allen, who was in Jackson's class, gets pitied. And Lamar Jackson has to prove himself, and it's still not good enough because, oh, this is not the award for the best. It's the most valuable. Well, that should have been Saquon Barkley. But they don't want to talk about that. And if I'm Josh Allen, which I'm not, thank you for this award, but don't use me like this. Don't use me to keep other people off the stage because you don't want to black out. The Super Bowl is tomorrow, and I haven't heard one announcer celebrate the fact that we have, again, 2 black quarterbacks at the helm of each team in tomorrow's Super Bowl. I haven't heard it one time. And as tough of a time as black quarterbacks have had, and Jameis Winston so eloquently pointed out, there's only one black quarterback in the Hall of Fame, and that's Warren Moon, and he had to go to Canada first before the NFL would acknowledge that he existed. It was talented. So for all of the hardships that black quarterbacks have had, how they tried to switch Lamar Jackson to wide receiver, and he had enough confidence in himself to stand firm, and he get hated on and cheated out of things. They refuse to say, you know what? Once again, 2 black quarterbacks. They don't want to talk about it. As if you don't talk about it, we can't see it. And I understand that sometimes what's obvious doesn't need to be stated, but it does need to be celebrated. It's Black History Month. Black quarterbacks have had a tough time. Look at Jameis Winston. He's not a bad quarterback. They just didn't want him to be a human being when he played. I just said it if some of y'all weren't on here. Jameis Winston played football. In my opinion, he came out of college when they really and truly didn't want black quarterbacks to be at the helm. So, okay, we're going to let you in, but we don't have to let you have an opinion. And that's why I think his career has gone the way it did. But he was good enough to back up Drew Brees. Really? So they don't want to acknowledge your talents, but I really need you. But they want to acknowledge him, the most viral moments from Jameis Winston in New Orleans running around being a comedian, but he don't have a position on a team as a quarterback, which is what he actually is. He's not a comedian, but that's what they want to acknowledge him as. And then we go to the NFL honors. I'm kind of glad we got off right before NFL because we probably the MVP because we probably would have been on the whole time, another whole hour. We were on for 2.5 hours. We would have been on for 3.5 hours trying to, just talk about how disgusted it is for people like Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley to work their butts off to not be acknowledged, to be hated, to try to be held back, switch this. And then Josh Allen is pitied. I don't even know if he was pitied, to be honest with you. Gotta say something. But to me, it was to keep Lamar Jackson off that stage. Probably to keep Saquon Barkley off the stage. If what Emmanuel Acho said, MVP is not for the best, which is Lamar Jackson. Thank you for acknowledging that. If it's for the most valuable, Josh Allen is not playing in the Super Bowl. So therefore, it's Saquon Barkley. And he was the most valuable before the season ended. And he was third. Isn't that something? Third? Saquon Barkley third in voting? Let's see. Let's check the comments. Hey, Herman. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It said, happy Saturday, family, friends in the chat. It said 2% melanin versus the truth. That's why they gave him MVP. Lamar Jackson had better stats also. Right, Kiel? And to listen to Acho talking about, I read books. Like, in other words, he knows that valuable is different from the best. Saquon Barkley clearly was the most valuable. And that's who he should have voted for. And what you're saying, Kia, about 2% melanin, I need you to expand on that for me a little bit, and I'm gonna come back to it. Gracie, thank you for holding the moderator duties down for me and welcoming everybody. I appreciate it. And Herman says, Emmanuel Acho leans towards undermining African-American athletes to score brownie points. I said that. Did I not just say that? He did the same thing, trashing Angel Reese last year, trying to score brownie points. That's exactly what I said. I totally agree with you, Herman. I totally agree with you. Welcome, Regina. Welcome. It says, yeah, the voting stuff is confusing me. Yeah, delay, because it's not based on logic. It's not based on who's the best. It's not even based on who's the most valuable. It's like, who can I put up here so Lamar doesn't get it or Saquon doesn't get it? That's what it's based on. It's based on keeping the black athlete for winning all the damn awards. That's really what it is. People trying to figure out how Joe Burrow really won comeback player of the year, but maybe he was the only one who had an injury. I don't know. Somebody said it's reverse. People have said it was a DEI vote. It's a reverse DEI. Actually, it is DEI because DEI does not overwhelmingly does not benefit black people. That's why the whole DEI argument, I just stay quiet because, I mean, if black people benefited from DEI, we wouldn't be the bottom of each category when it comes to professions. The CEO suites, C-suite, will be full of black people. So black people don't benefit from DEI. Not like that. It's who you see that's benefiting. So, and that's a whole nother video. Indeed. Welcome, T. Washington. Hi, everybody. Hey, James. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Maybe the NFL is more rigged against Lamar Jackson than it allegedly rigged in favor of the Chiefs. Well, Herman, you might be right about that. I know one thing. I quickly noticed that it was Josh Allen that won. And I know one thing for sure. When Lamar Jackson was being drafted, Josh Allen was in his class, I do believe. And Josh Allen and the other guys, the other quarterbacks went top 10. Lamar Jackson was left to sit last. And then when Lamar Jackson came his first year, I think he won MVP. Then a couple of years later, 23, I think he won MVP. So he was going to win it again. And what does it say that they hate on this man like they do? Say he can't win the big games, but he keep winning all of the awards. It says that they have too much hatred in their heart. It says that they have to, when they need to hold a mirror up to themselves and realize that they are the problem. So to me, this is about keeping somebody else off the stage. When they said it was a pity vote, I'm like, you know what? Maybe. But when you look at who was nominated and who was 1, 2, and 3, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Saquon Barkley, if you didn't give it to Josh Allen, it was going to have to be Lamar Jackson or it was going to have to be Saquon Barkley. They didn't want neither one of them with it. Saquon Barkley better wake up. He better wake up. They didn't want him with that. There's no way Lamar Jackson should have been third. So what I wanted to do, since we are here, thank y'all. Everybody hit the like button for me, please, please. Y'all did a great job yesterday. Everybody hit the like button. We were on for almost 2.5 hours, and everybody hit the like button. So I appreciate y'all. At least 99.9% of people in the chat hit the like button. So my question is, all right, who do y'all think? Just drop the name. It could be, you could drop Allen, Lamar, or Saquon, or if you want to say Josh, Lamar, Saquon. Who do you think should have won the MVP? Do you think Josh Allen rightfully won it? If so, drop Josh or Josh Allen. If you feel like Lamar Jackson should have won it, drop Lamar Jackson. And if you think Saquon should have won, let me know. Personally, I feel like if they want to say, okay, Lamar was the best, but not necessarily the most valuable, which is retarded. Excuse me, that's not something you can say. It's not, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. To me, if it wasn't Lamar, it should have been Saquon. I don't understand how Saquon is in third. I don't. I mean, you didn't even have to watch NFL football in the regular season to know he was the most valuable player. And then for him to get his team to, the NFL, so I don't see how Saquon could be left out like that. I really don't. It said, how did he not win? Who you talking about, 400? Welcome back, 400. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You said, how did he not win? Who you talking about, 400? It said, these persons that don't look like you and I have 2% melanin. Oh, Josh Allen is one of those people. Okay, I understand what you mean. Thank you. I didn't know what you meant. Okay. Thank you for that, Kiel. James said, Philadelphia lost 5 of the last 7 games last year. They sent Swift to Chicago, Sanders to Carolina, picked up Barkley from the Giants, and are in the Super Bowl. Y'all need to see more? No. But that's my point. You didn't even have to be an NFL fan. You didn't have to be a fan of none of the teams. If you just listen to sports, you knew who the most valuable person was throughout the year. You knew Lamar had put up numbers because you could read, and nobody's surprised by that, because of his athleticism. He's a damn good quarterback. But to me, I feel like they gave it to Josh because they didn't want to give it to Lamar. They were in the same class, and that was the year they left Lamar to sit there and rot. And in my opinion, it was retaliation because they wanted him to switch to wide receiver, and he said no. And that was the same time they were using that test. I forgot what it's called, the Wonderlic. They had to get rid of it. They got rid of it. They were using this test to try to weed people out. The test was supposed to determine if you could be successful as a quarterback. And it was supposed to be confidential. But they were trying to say something about him. Actually, they weren't trying to. It's on video. They did say some things about him. The NFL quietly got rid of that test after that. So to me, Lamar Jackson made it despite the odds and the number of people in high places who tried to keep him down. And I felt like they let him sit because they wanted him to switch. And he said, no, I'm a quarterback. I want to play quarterback. He didn't even run a 40 in the combine. They wanted him to work out as a wide receiver. So he defied all of those people in high places, scouts, executives, GMs, whatever, went on to play quarterback. He sat there. They knew they were humiliating him by letting him sit there like that. And who drafted him? On the way out, Isaac Newsom. You don't know who Isaac Newsom is? Just Google it. It'll make a lot of sense when you see him. So Baltimore tries to spin it now. Oh, we were like, oh my God, he's going to fall to us. There's no reason in the world that Lamar Jackson should have went dead last in the first round. I remember Coach Prime interviewed Lamar trying to keep his spirits up. And that's how they treated him. And now they, years later, because they think we forgot, they want to put news stories out about it on how, Baltimore was so happy to get him. Everybody said Isaac Newsom drafted him on the way out because if he didn't, he would have just sat there. It's like they was conspiring against him because he said no. No, he didn't say no. He stood firm on being a quarterback. So to me, that's why he didn't win it. And if you didn't want to give it to Lamar Jackson because you still trying to hold him down when he keeps rising up, it should have went to Saquon Barkley, not Josh Allen. So the whole pity thing is just something to say. Maybe they do pity him, but I don't think that's why he won. I told y'all yesterday, there are certain players that are used as pawns to keep other people off the stage. That's what this is about. And if I'm Josh Allen and anybody else that they use it as a pawn, don't use me. Don't use me like that. And one day somebody just gonna have to stand up and say it when it comes to these awards. You know what? Thank you for this award. But the really deserving person is XYZ. That's gonna take a lot of courage. Like Ozzie Newsome, it might be something you need to do on the way out when it's your last year. But to be honest with you, I do. I think it's a placeholder situation where they just trying to keep certain people off the stage. That's what I said about Dylan Gabriel. How is it Dylan Gabriel? Explain that to me. A Heisman candidate sitting on the stage. They refuse to acknowledge Shador. And he going in what round? The third round? They don't even talk about him. I feel sorry for him that they used him like that. That's really, I mean, I feel sorry when people get used to prevent somebody else from shining. I really do, because that meant it really wasn't never about you. It was about your presence keeping somebody else down. Don't use me like that. And that's the era we're headed into in the NFL, because as time goes on with Shador coming in, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, you know, it's going to be hard because right now we have two black quarterbacks, right? Two black quarterbacks, even though they don't talk about it and it's Black History Month, you don't hear anything about the two black quarterbacks that we have. Again, it's the second time in the Super Bowl. And it hasn't been enough that it should be ignored. It should be celebrated, definitely in Black History Month. And then you have the top three NFL MVP candidates, Saquon and Lamar Jackson. Come on now. Eventually, it's going to be three. The top three will be black. Eventually, we're going to start seeing two black quarterbacks more often. People pointed it out. If Lamar Jackson, they had won their game, I think it would have been Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, and Pat Mahomes. So it didn't happen this year. It's coming. You can't stop it. It's inevitable. But there are people that believe that the power rests with them. So they keep trying. They keep trying. It's inevitable. So to me, yeah, Lamar Jackson got robbed, but so did Saquon Barkley. Because according to Emmanuel Acho, the most valuable, the one who was more valuable to the team is Saquon Barkley. The best is Lamar Jackson. So that's that. It says Saquon Barkley and Katie Boyce, you the real MVP. Yes. Yes, John. Thank you. Thank you. It said first team All-Pro didn't win. Right. And they were talking, different people are talking about this. See, what I've come to understand is, you know, we live in an era where, you know, the media is not really controlled by a whole lot of people. So if you want a story to die, just like the whole Tucker thing, that came and went, right? We at the Super Bowl, you ain't hear no more about that. It was like 1 or 2 days. That was it. So they have the ability to kill a story and to smother it because they all look like associated, you know? And to me, it's just sad that, you know, people get cheated that way. But honestly, the media is the culprit. The media is the main culprit because it's Black History Month. You don't hear them talking about it. And they in New Orleans. Everybody knows the makeup of the state of Louisiana. And everybody knows what New Orleans is. You don't hear anything about it. I watched the Super Bowl parade today. Culture on display, all of it, the good and the bad. And it's just a reminder. And I thought the parade was good. People were saying, hey, you know, this is why New Orleans hosts the Super Bowl so much because, you know, the city knows how to do it, etc. And I mean, to me, you could just see how, you know, the different bands were treated. And I knew, I'm from there, so I kind of know, but it's just a reminder of why I don't live there. And it just seems like at any opportunity to try to I don't know, take the shine away from the people that are actually there, it happens. So but they already said the city of New Orleans, they don't care about the people, they care about the politics. So, and it's true. It's true. It said first team All Pro didn't win. Nope, he didn't. And people don't understand it. They're like, so how is it? But see, we're talking about it. There are other people talking about it. You could Google the situation in NFL MVP, and it's gonna come up. It's gonna say that Josh Allen got the pity vote. And that didn't come from a black publication. There are podcasts talking about it because there are real football fans who don't like it because it's watering down the game, right? It's taken away from the truth of the game. So who knows what hoops they're gonna jump through next. But if you a person that they using you to block somebody else who's more deserving, you're gonna have to stand up and say, you know what, I appreciate this, but this belongs to Lamar Jackson. This belongs to Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is going to the Super Bowl. So, you talking about Lamar? Yeah. Yep, Saquon Barkley. Oh, y'all said, okay, so everybody's voting. It says 400 says Lamar should have won. Saquon Barkley. James said Saquon should have won. Kiel said Lamar should have won. James said Philadelphia redid their home run packages with O-line shifting positions to open holes bigger than New York City potholes for Barkley. And I was listening to people talk about the Super Bowl. They say that's how they're going to win. They shift into the run game. I mean, I'm sure that's not a secret. I watched one former football player, Malcolm Jenkins, his interview. First it was Woodson. Woodson was first, and then Jenkins came on, and I think it's Malcolm Jenkins. He had on a green suit, and they were asking him, it was so funny, they were asking him, what did he think the strategy was for Philly to win? He said, I don't know. He's like, I'm not giving anybody anything. But the one strategy that I heard that I think makes sense outside of you're going to need to run this ball with Saquon Barkley, because if that's what got you here, if Saquon is what got you here, if he's the difference maker, then that's what you have to do. But Kansas City knows that. So I think the strategy I heard, I think it was Shady McCoy talking about it. Somebody else was being interviewed. And I think it was him that was saying the goal should be to keep Pat Mahomes off the field. So they're going to run the ball for 3 yards, run the ball for 5 yards, run the ball, in other words, the time of possession. So they're going to try to dominate the time of possession to keep Pat Mahomes off the field. They said that in turns, by the time they do get the ball back, they're going to be so desperate, they're going to start making mistakes. In other words, you can't let Kansas City play their game. You can't let them dominate the clock, or you can't, like what we saw with the Washington Commanders game, where they dominated the time of possession and they just gave up and gave them the damn ball back to Philly. And what happened? Saquon scored in 18 seconds. So the strategy is going to have to be, we need to dominate the time of possession. Running the ball is the way. And Saquon Barkley is going to have to basically try to restrain himself, because you don't want him to go run down there and score in 18 seconds and then you just give them the ball back. So while he's capable of bursting through and getting it done in 18 seconds, they're going to want him to slow it down and go, play by play and drag the plays out to keep Kansas off the field long enough so everybody gets itchy and then they start making mistakes. I'm like, that's actually a good strategy. And I think I heard, I don't know who it was that was talking to Shady and the crew, but Shady was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to the team about this. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Shady, they already know. But he said, I like that. He was really impressed with the strategy. I was too, because you're not going to just beat them, because they can go toe to toe. You score, they score. It can go back and forth. You can have 70 to 75, to be honest. So the goal is playing keep away, keeping the ball from them. What do y'all think about that strategy? The run strategy to dominate the time of possession and keeping the ball away from Kansas City. Let's see. It says, good morning. Oh, okay. Newsom is the man. The GM Newsom is the man. Black GM. Oh, Ozzy, yeah. Yeah, he is. He is. And that was his last activity for I don't know how long he was there. And now I'm starting to wonder who played under him. Is that the Ray Lewis era too? I don't know. Shannon Sharp, Coach Prime, Ed Reed. That's interesting. I have that's a different conversation, but I need to look into that. If anybody knows, I don't know his history. I just know he was pivotal, and he is the reason, and it's the last thing that he did. It said the dislike for Lamar is evidenced by when no team wanted him when he was a free agent. What? That's crazy. And you would think that he's like a loudmouth or disruptive, off the field issues like Luka. You would think that, and that's not. He just go to work. He do his job. He want to win. He's good. And I still say all of that stems because the people in 2018 that were trying to switch him, the people that said this about him, that end up looking racist afterwards, I still say it's that faction. However, they still got their fingers in the pot. I say it's them still trying to retaliate because he did not want to switch to wide receiver. It said Allen had a good year, but Lamar is a different beast. Right. And that's the crazy part. This is why I say some people would rather lose and be sorry than win with the right person leading. And that right person is Lamar Jackson. And a lot of people, and self included, after that game where that tight end dropped that ball, there was a lot of people on threads, was saying that they felt like it was intentional to stop Lamar because these people, this same faction that tried to convert him, that said these things about him, that didn't want him to be a dual threat quarterback, even though Michael Vick was the first dual threat quarterback. Lamar Jackson did not invent the dual threat quarterback. So that's not it. Jada Daniels is a dual threat quarterback. CJ Stroud is a dual threat quarterback. But they hate Lamar Jackson. And all he does is go to work and try to win. And to me, the only common denominator is that he stood firm on wanting to be a quarterback, became an MVP not once but twice, and this would have been the third time. And they don't want that. For Saquon Barkley to be in third, that should tell you everything you know right there. If anything, he should have been second. It should have been between Lamar and Saquon Barkley. The fact that it wasn't tells you that something fishy's going on here. But I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep it up. Because, like I said, this year, the top three, two black players and one non-black player, within the next 2 years, it's going to be three. So then who are you going to cheat? You're going to have to change the cheating strategy then. You're going to have to cheat by team or something. But that's where we're going. What's inevitable is what they're trying to stop, but it's still going on. Just like they try to switch him to wide receiver, he held firm on quarterback and won 2 MVPs. He can get a third. He's young. And then when all the top three are black, then what you going to do? You're going to hurt your brand. That's what you're going to do. You're going to hurt your brand and yourself trying to hate on Lamar Jackson. All he does is get more fans because more and more people learn about the situation and they support Lamar Jackson because they know what's happening to him is wrong. It said they don't like Lamar Jackson because he's his own man. Barkley should have won. But this is the new world we live in. Actually, that's the old world. The new world we live in is top 3 NFL MVPs or black candidates, and it'll be a newer world when you see 3 of them. So instead of just Lamar Jackson, it could be Lamar Jackson, Jada Daniels, and Saquon Barkley next year. It very well could be. They're gonna still be the same people. Saquon's still gonna be a force to reckon with. Lamar Jackson's still gonna be a force to reckon with. I'm assuming it's gonna be in Baltimore, and then there'll be another quarterback. It'll be a different quarterback because who won Offensive Player of the Year? Was it Jada Daniels? All right. It said neither Lamar nor Josh shouldn't have won MVP. Barkley went to a passing first team. A.J. Brown, Goddard, tight end, Dotson from Washington, and Devontae Smith with a running QB Hurts and stole the show. Yes, he did. He so much so that people wondered if it was unfair that Saquon was getting all of the credit and if they were somehow slighting Jalen Hurts. I'm like, I don't think Jalen Hurts feels slighted in the league. I don't. He wants to win. And that's something I noticed, like, when people talk about, like, they talk about Shedeur Sanders, is he going to be upset if he goes second or third? Like, clearly what's important to you is not what's important to them. Being drafted, number one, is important. And two, winning is important. And I know Jalen wanted to get back to the Super Bowl, welcomed Saquon Barkley with open arms, and now, where are they? They play in the Super Bowl tomorrow. It says, so who is putting the votes in for MVP? I think well, I know Acho put one in, so I'm going with the media. Let's check. I checked that when it was WNBA, but I think it's the same way. Media. Who votes for MVP? It says 50 members of the media vote for NFL MVP award. And in times like these, when the media is full of former players, it can be said that not only journalists have the decisions in their hands. So you have somebody like Acho who said he played. I don't know if he played. I don't like him. He has an opportunity to be great, but it seems like he'd just rather kiss up than be great. Shady, I like Shady. A lot of people like Shady McCoy because it's like he keeps it real, you know. It's like he's not trying to make sure he stays at the desk. You know, they feel like he's authentic, and I feel like Emmanuel Acho has the opportunity here to be authentic. You know, as someone that appears to be a black man, you would think that he would seize the opportunity to be authentic, especially if he's a former player and share the perspective, but that's not what he does. So that there you go. 50 members. It's 50 members of the media. And he said he changed his vote. He admitted it himself. So apparently he was going to vote for Lamar Jackson. But since it's not the Heisman based on the best, according to him, he had to vote for Josh Allen. I'm like, so you just gonna act like you don't see Saquon Barkley over here? I'm like, that tells you everything you need to know about him. It says, and check this out. This is with Jason Kelce retiring. What are we talking about? James Allen, James, what you saying? It's with Kelce retiring. What we talking about? Run heavy and control the clock on the bigger could win or maybe win. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. James, now what are you saying? You said, and check this out. This is with Jason Kelce retiring. What are we talking about? Yeah. Run heavy and control the clock. I mean, for the longest, before they got Saquon Barkley, hell, they blamed Jalen Hurts for everything. I saw articles, again, when I say they, I'm talking about the media, because typically, think about it, we don't hear people in the leagues talk. They know what not to say. They know a coach can't trash his players. We know, we know that. So when I say they, I'm talking about the media. I saw a story that says Jalen Hurts is a problem with Philadelphia. I'm like, didn't they just go to a Super Bowl, even though they lost, but they went? So it wasn't good enough to go. And now they're going back. And when they win, it'll be interesting to see what they say. I'm just waiting on the day that they turn on Pat Mahomes because it's coming. It's coming. They already went in on his little brother, Damon Brain. It says for sure that will win them the game, running the ball and excellent defense and tackling. Yeah, I think so too. I don't know who the guy was. He was excellent. I'm assuming he might have been associated with the Eagles organization, but then again, not necessarily because they had Woodson on. Woodson talked about Travis. We're gonna talk about Woodson. I like what he had to say, and I don't know who it was, but they were in a restaurant in New Orleans. But the guys, his insight was good. I said, I like that. I do think they have to realize that Kansas City. Andy Reid is smart. They say he's getting ready to probably retire in the next year or two. So I don't know what's going to happen to that squad. But they said, well, Pat Mahomes is good. He can run it. I'm like, they still need a coach. So whoever this guy was, I liked his strategy called takeaway. That's what you're gonna have to do, because we do know that the Chiefs are a good team. You can't say that they're not a good team, but they do get help. And we're gonna talk about two things. We're gonna talk about Woodson, and we're gonna talk about this fine that Travis Kelce got after the game with the Bills. And the Bills got a 15-yard penalty for it, but they didn't penalize Kansas City in the game. They hit Travis Kelce after the game in his pockets. We're going to talk about that, because to me, that's why people say they want to boycott the Super Bowl, because why didn't you penalize Travis Kelce like you did the Buffalo Bills team? You gave them a 15-yard penalty, and you did nothing to Travis Kelce until after the game. And his penalty was double the dollar amount, but I'm sure it would have been effective in the game, right? We'll talk about that. So Damon said, for sure they will win the game running the ball and excellent defense. Okay. It says All-Pro Kelce. Oh, James is explaining what I'd asked. All-Pro Kelce, Super Bowl winner Kelce, when Wentz came in for Nick Foles. Head lineman gone, and they still had discipline to open holes. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, thank you for that, James. Thanks for expanding on that. Gracie said, does Kansas City have a running back of the caliber of Barkley that keeps their run game on the same level as the Eagles? I never hear them talk about a running back. All I hear them talk about, well, we know, is the tight end that they have. But I don't know, to be honest. I'm trying to think of who else. I don't know who else they really have. I mean, I don't know. If anybody in the conversation knows, Gracie asked, does Kansas City have a Saquon Barkley caliber running back, or a running back that, is just as effective as Saquon? I don't think so, though. I'm going to put it on the screen so people can see it. It says, Lamar has won NFL MVP back-to-back. Why are people saying the voters hate him? We need to stop this narrative. Won twice, not one time. Stop it. Yes, he did win twice. He won in 19, I think again in 23, and he should have won in 2025. So, James, I know you're not trying to assert that because Lamar won twice, that's enough. Are you trying to say that Lamar didn't deserve to win this time? Let me know your thoughts on that, James. It says, the best way to beat Kansas City Chiefs is control the game by Barkley running and Jalen Hurts running the ball, keeping Mahomes on the sidelines. I like that. 22, I think that's good. So essentially you saying, instead of Jalen passing the ball, use him to drag out the clock, to run out, to eat up the clock. And use Saquon to score. So you use both of them, basically. That should be interesting. I wonder if they're going to do that. I like that strategy. Rather than use the pass and the run game, just use the run game. It says, and the refs giving them extra love. Yep. The refs. See, to me, that's why I feel like people don't really think the Chiefs are all of that. Because if you are all of that, then why do you need help? And I know people went back, like a Chase Daniels and everybody else, and talked about, the missed calls and this, that, and the other. But for them to not publish until days later that Travis Kelce was fined like $7,000, $11,000 for something that occurred in the game, and the Kansas City, the Buffalo Bills got a 15-yard penalty, whoever he was in it with. And I don't know if they said he initiated or not, but they thought enough of it to fine him double the money. But they did it after the game, so Kansas City didn't incur a penalty. That don't make no sense to me. That's the kind of stuff you look at and you like, so y'all just gonna straight up cheat. That's cheating. If you knew, if you clearly could call the penalty on the Bills, then you knew Kelce was involved during the play of the game, but you decide to penalize him afterwards as if you didn't know. Of course you knew. And that's the kind of favoritism that people say gets the Chiefs where they are. And it's also why people say the league just want them to three-peat. I don't know if they would want anybody to three-peat, but they want the Kansas City Chiefs to three-peat. So that means that Philadelphia better have their head on a swivel tomorrow, and they're going to need to run up the score because they're going to get cheated otherwise. I mean, obviously the goal was to get them here, right? What was the point of cheating the Texans? What's the point of cheating the Bills? What's the point of penalizing Kelsey after the game, but giving the Bills a 15-yard penalty in the game to get them where they are? So if I got them this far, if they had helped this far, if we covered you this long, I brought you here for a reason. So I'm gonna have to help you beat the Eagles so you could three-peat. I mean, that must be the goal. Why keep helping them? Anybody could go to the Super Bowl if that's the case. And you helping this particular team. What is it about the Kansas City Chiefs that they get so much help? It says Gracie, Kareem Hunt, and Pacheco. Okay. It said that got 3 dogs. They got 3 dogs. Damon said that. Oh, okay, I guess y'all talking about the running backs, Gracie. So they put some people in the chat for you, Gracie. They said they got Kareem Hunt and Pacheco. And Damon said the same thing. So there's your answer, Gracie. I'll put it on the screen. Let's see. So they do have 3 people. And it says, James says, Barkley should have won. No way around it. His numbers surpassed Eric Dickerson. All-Pro Hall of Fame Eric Dickerson. No, Lamar is not the MVP with the same offense he has had with the same coach. But didn't he have the same coach when he won MVP twice before, James? I mean, I agree. I do think if it wasn't Lamar, I don't know why it wouldn't be Lamar. I'm still saying if the race should have been tight between Lamar and Saquon Barkley. It should have never been. I don't know why it would be Josh Allen over Saquon Barkley. I don't know why it would be Lamar Jackson and then Josh Allen. I don't understand that, and a lot of people don't understand it because I don't think anybody refutes the fact that Saquon Barkley fits the valuable criteria. If you want to say Lamar is the best, so I'm gonna give it to somebody who's more valuable, you can't tell me that Josh Allen is more valuable than Saquon Barkley, and Saquon Barkley is in the Super Bowl. Where's the logic in saying that that's not the case? So that's why I said, James, I think the race should have been between Lamar and Barkley. I don't even know. Maybe Josh Allen should be a third. I'm not saying he shouldn't be in the race, but if we're talking valuable, if Lamar is the best, Saquon is the most valuable between Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley. And I never heard an argument, nobody to even bring the argument up. I just don't understand why Saquon didn't get more votes. Why was he in third? So that's that. So for Acho to say he changed his vote, assuming he changed his vote from Lamar Jackson, it seems like he was voting for Lamar, but he changed it. And I heard it. Did it come down to one vote? NFL voters make a statement on rosters. On what? On rosters of Bills and Ravens. How they voted. Josh Allen wins. Let's see. All right, how they voted. Let's see if we can see how they voted. All right. Now remember, they said it's 50 media people. Josh Allen beat out two-time winner Lamar Jackson for MVP in the closest race since Matt Ryan beat out Tom Brady in 2016. Allen, who led Buffalo to a 5th straight AFC title, got 27 first place votes to Jackson's 23 and finished with 383 points. He received 22, I guess we're talking about 22 second place votes and 1/3. So nobody thought he should have been third place. He could have been second, but he had 27 first. And then they have everybody who voted. So they have, okay, I'm gonna name some people. Y'all, if y'all know these people, let me know. It says Pat Kerwan, Voted for Josh Allen first, Lamar Jackson second, Saquon Barkley third. Tim Silverstein voted for Lamar Jackson first, Joe Burrow second, and Josh Allen third. Mike Sando, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Mike Jones voted for Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. Doug Farrar, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Armando somebody, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon. Nate Davis, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jared Goff. Shereen Williams, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff. Rich Gannon, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. So Rich Gannon, Lindsey Jones, and Mark Craig all voted for them three. Let's see. With Josh Allen leading. Jared Bell, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley. Chris Sims. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. Laura O. Kim, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley. Dan Pomple, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. So as y'all can see, Saquon Barkley really and truly didn't get a lot of votes. And it only took a few people like Acho to swing their vote from Lamar Jackson to Josh Allen. It said Dan Orlovsky, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Saquon. Emmanuel Acho, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. Tom Curran, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes. Mina Kimes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Greg Allman, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. John McCullen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. One more time. Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Tony Dungy, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Saquon Barkley. What? Man, I'm looking at that. Those are football legends. Football legends, not just media people. Football legends. I mean, how can you go against what Tom Brady said? Nate Davis, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jared Goff. Okay. Well. So, let's see. Overall, Barkley finished third with 120 points, followed by Burrows with 82 and Jared Goff 47. So anyway, y'all heard that, right? So did y'all hear that? Let me go back and see what y'all saying. So hold on one second. Let's see. It said Lamar numbers were better than his own numbers last year. This is from James. So in hindsight, Lamar should have won Offensive Player of the Year, Barkley MVP. That's just me. I'll take it. But look at what Tom Brady said. Look at what Tony Dungy said. The football people, the football legends said Lamar Jackson won because what matters is that you're the best. So now Acho is trying to split hairs and say, and you see he voted for Pat Mahomes third. He didn't even vote for Saquon Barkley. Explain that. I need somebody to ask him, how do you not vote for Pat Mahomes? So see, he didn't want to go Lamar, Saquon, Pat Mahomes. He didn't want to do that. So he switched his vote. He said it, he switched his vote. It says it doesn't matter how many times Lamar Jackson win the MVP. Lamar Jackson have an MVP season and earn it, give it to him. So stats don't lie. Lamar Jackson was better than Josh Allen. Yeah, facts. 22, you're right on that. Facts. That's it. And that's why I'm like, you can't make it be about he's won it twice, and he can win it every year if he deserves it. It says Kareem Hunt was really good. Oh, Gracie. Okay, that's Keo talking to Gracie. Okay, got it. It says James said, I personally don't think the league is against Lamar. 1 minute they hate a black quarterback, and the next minute it's a black quarterback. Mahomes getting all the. It said, make it make sense. James, really? All right, James, let me just go ahead on and break this down for you. Lamar Jackson is black. Okay. He identifies as black. Okay. It's no secret that he embraces who he is. Pat Mahomes, on the other hand, not so much. In fact, I've had people to argue with me on threads, argue me down to tell me he does not identify as black. Now I don't know whether he does or whether he does not. I know it's hard to deny who your father is, so I know that he is. And you got people that want to split hairs with him and say, well, he's only half black. Okay, at the end of the day, the word black is in the census. That's good enough. So half, a third, it don't matter. He's black, but it's what he identifies as. And I heard him, my own self, struggle with when he was in Evolution of a Black Quarterback, being interviewed by Michael Vick. Go watch it. On Amazon Prime. He kept saying those guys. And I'm trying to think, because it's been a minute since I saw it, if he was talking about historically. Remember, this is about black quarterbacks. So he's black quarterback, so he was in it. So he knows he was in it, but I'm just not sure if he knew why he was in it. He kept saying, it's like he couldn't identify with those guys. Now, he kept saying those guys, and I was expecting him to say, like, Jameis Winston, black quarterbacks like us. I never heard him say that. So you have to go watch it. And it's been a minute since I've watched it. And you tell me, when he said those guys, was he talking about black quarterbacks and he didn't associate himself with that? Or was he speaking those guys from the past, but you thought he would have said black quarterbacks from the past or black quarterbacks like us? So there is a question as to whether or not he truly identifies as a black person. I don't know how he can. I've seen Lamar Jackson's father. I know he's black. So you can't deny your blackness. Even if both of your parents aren't black, you still cannot deny your blackness. Just like you can't deny any other part of you either. So I don't know. So James, I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. That's why I said I'm waiting to see how long before they turn on Mahomes. I thought it was interesting that they said it was only a 1-point spread between the Bills and the Chiefs. And I actually heard somebody say, when it came down to the 4 teams, somebody said the white boy gonna win it all. So they knew Pat Mahomes was a black. So I don't know. I think that was a black person that said that though. So James, when you say they hate on the black quarterback, yeah. But the question is, do they see Mahomes as a black quarterback? I don't know the answer to that question. So there you go. It says, who is the reporter dude you keep mentioning? What's his full name? I want to remember his face. Emmanuel Acho? So I can know it's a clown in the future. He's on the facility. His name is Emmanuel Acho. Last name spelled A-C-H-O. Google it right now. That's who it is. Nobody else has a name that's close to it that I can think of that is in this current time that anybody else should pop up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna type it in to see if it pop up. Let's see. Yep, he comes right up. Emmanuel, capital A-C-H-O. So that's him. Make no mistake about it. That's the same person. It says, I see the media. 22. Did you finish your thought? 22? It said, I see the media. I don't know. It says, thank God I was just wondering because I really hear anything about their running back. Okay, Grace is saying thank y'all can read what she's saying. So she put it out there. It said the NFL world identifies with Mahomes as black. He may not, but that's the first black anything is brought up when talking about him. Tiger Woods was the same way. Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it because I don't know. And you know what? Maybe it does matter how he identifies himself. It might make a big difference. But like I say, how long before they turn on him? We shall see. So I'm glad to get y'all's thoughts. We already at an hour and 22 minutes. I'm glad to get y'all's thoughts on NFL MVP. I figured it would be varied, meaning between Saquon and Lamar Jackson, but I knew most of y'all would pick Lamar Jackson. Again, it's not to say Josh Allen is not a good quarterback, but the race should have been between Lamar Jackson and Saquon Barkley. For Saquon Barkley not to be right up there tied neck and neck with the type of season he had, it's unexplainable that that's the case. It's unexplainable that he's not tied for second. Lamar is first. Those two facts are unexplainable. If y'all say stats don't lie, and he had a better season than Eric Dickerson, and how is he not up there? So it says, I showed credibility been shot ever since uncomfortable conversation with a black man. Oh, really? Welcome, T. Washington. I didn't know. Okay, thank you for telling us that. It said exactly, Barkley got done wrong. Yeah, I think so too. I think, I've never heard anybody talk about it, but from what she said, Lamar Jackson should have been first, and Saquon Barkley should have been second, or they should have first and second should have been tied together or something, because they both had stellar seasons. They did. They both had stellar seasons. Saquon Barkley is undeniable. You don't even have to explain that. And I don't know if a lot of people knows the stats for Lamar Jackson this year, but I think, did he have 1,000 rushing yards? And he made All Pro. Yeah. So I think I looked at his stats. I think he had 1,000 rushing yards himself, and they have Derrick Henry. Let's see. Let's see what they are. So it says Lamar Jackson game stats. Okay. He had 4,172 yards completion. Okay, these are passing yards. Okay. So he had 4,172 passing yards. He had a total of 41 touchdowns. And he had 4 interceptions all season. Now that's impressive. 4,000 yards and only four interceptions. And then his career stats. All right. So in 2018, he was 1,200 yards. Okay. Makes sense. His rookie year. 2019, 3,127 yards in his second season. I think that's when he won MVP. 2020, 2,757 yards. 2021, 2,862. 2022, 2,247. Now, here we go. 2023, 3,678. You see the comparison? In 2019, he threw for 3,127 yards. Didn't he win an MVP in 2019? And again, in 2023, he threw for 3,678 yards. And I think he won an MVP in 23. So how is it in 2024, he throws for 4,000? Maybe this throwing and rushing. This is probably a combination. 4,172 yards. That must be a combination of the two. 4,172 yards in a regular season. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. I don't know if nobody else had those numbers. Maybe that's why he won All Pro. So I don't know. Let me check Josh Allen right fast. I gotta check. Hold on 1 second. With the different people that are talking about it, let's see. Okay, Josh Allen. This year he had 3,731, 6 interceptions, 28 touchdowns. Now, how on earth is that better? And he's had 4,000 yard seasons in 23, 22, 21. Yeah, he's had 2 and 3,000 yard seasons, but his interceptions through the roof. In 23, he had 4,300 yards, but he also had 18 interceptions. Same thing in 2022, 4,200 yards, and he had 14 interceptions. 2021, 4,400 yards, 15 interceptions. This is Josh Allen. 2020, 4,500 yards, 10 interceptions. When he was drafted along with Lamar Jackson in 2018, he threw for 2,000 yards. He had 12 interceptions. So he's interception prone, basically. Yeah, there's no way he should have won. Like, yeah, there's definitely no way he should have won. Exactly. Barkley got done wrong for sure. It says it was a show that did a few years ago. Okay. You talking about Acho. Okay. Well, y'all, we looked at the numbers ourselves. It makes sense as to why Tom Brady and Tony Dungy, both legends in the NFL, they're not media people first, they're athletes first. So 2 legendary athletes said it should have been Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and then Saquon Barkley. And we looked at the numbers, and Lamar Jackson's number are way better than Josh Allen. And I don't even understand how Emmanuel Acho could actually say that Josh Allen was more valuable. He don't even fit the valuable criteria when it comes between his play between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. So yeah, Lamar Jackson got robbed because they didn't want him to win a 3rd MVP. And I say this goes back to when he got drafted. He's in the same class with Allen. Allen was 1 through 10 with the rest of the quarterbacks, and Lamar Jackson was left to languish. The reason he was left to languish to last is the same reason he got cheated out of this MVP for the 3rd time. This is 3rd. This would have been his 3rd. So there it is. All right, y'all. Well, this was an excellent conversation. I don't know if anybody has any more insight before we get out of here, but we're going to get ready to get out of here in a few minutes. And we're 1 minute and 30 seconds in. Let's see. I appreciate y'all for hanging out tonight. Let me see. T. Washington, hopefully you come back more often. Don't forget, y'all, we have memberships. It's time for a 6th member. We have 5, so we need somebody to join who's going to join us next. I think it asks you to join when you watch the channel. So T. Washington, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. I know I saw Damon. Thank you. James. Thank you. James is a member. Gracie is a member. Thank you. Kiel is a member. 22, welcome back. Hopefully you'll consider joining. Delay, welcome back. Hopefully you'll consider joining. Let's see. Yeah, we had a good squad tonight. I think I got everybody too. So I guess I know I said I'm gonna go live tomorrow during the Super Bowl. I'm trying to figure out if I'm gonna watch the entire Super Bowl, if I'm gonna check in right before halftime and go live from there, because that's gonna be one really long stream. Or I'm gonna have to break it up into 2. I might do that. Go live the first half and then go live the again on the second the back half of the Super Bowl. Like, so first and second quarter, then end that stream and then go live during the halftime show, and then maybe stay on until the end of the game. So what y'all think about that? Because that's gonna be that's gonna be a 4-hour stream if I stay on it all that time. Let's see. It said Mahomes identified with his mom's side of the family because he said that he's just a quarterback. That's enough to tell you what he is. I could say more about his spouse, but I saved that for another day. Okay, 22, thank you for that insight. I knew there's something to this story. Like I said, if y'all haven't watched Evolution of a Black Quarterback, go watch it and let me know your opinion he sat down for the interview and maybe he felt like he had to, I don't know. But I felt like his conversation was like third party, like as if he didn't see himself as a black quarterback, which is why I thought he kept saying those guys. But again, it's been a minute since I've seen it, so I can't remember if it was historically used in the context of historically those guys, the guys from the past, or if he just can't bring himself to see himself like they are. Or maybe he thinks his story is different. He didn't have to endure what they had to endure. I don't know. Go watch it. Let me know your thoughts. Evolution of a Black Quarterback with Michael Vick. Thank you for that 22. I thought that was insightful. I appreciate that. All right, y'all. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully everybody hit the like button. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Super Bowl starts at 6:30. I think. Is it 6:30 Eastern? Gracie, thank you for holding it down as a moderator today. Regina, thank you. I think Regina was on. I think she was on. I don't know if she's still there. Let's see. Super Bowl. What time is it? Super Bowl 2025. It is tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 5:30 Central, I guess. And maybe 3:30 California time. Okay. Good show. Thank you, Herman. Thank you. Welcome back. Somebody, we need a 6th member. Consider becoming a member. If you're going to always come back, you might as well become a member. Take advantage of the perks. There will be private live stream. Y'all know we get, we authentic with it. So we'll probably start having private live streams when I get to 10 members. So we're at 5 right now. Let me know who's going to be the 6th. If you see the join button, click the join button and choose your membership. All right, so y'all, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all so much. Great conversation. I knew this was gonna be a great conversation because I could tell by the temperature going, I guess, the different conversations that different people were having, that a lot of people felt like not that just Lamar got robbed, but that Josh Allen, whether it was Saquon, Barkley, Lamar Jackson, that Josh Allen really was not the rightful MVP for the NFL. So that's why I brought the conversation to the forefront. 22 says, thank you, Gracie. Thank you, Herman. It says, Lamar Jackson had over 4,000 yards and almost 1,000 yards running. That's what I thought. 40 TDs passing. Emmanuel Ocho is a good old boy. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we did look up Lamar's stats. They were way better than Josh Allen's. I don't know what they went by. I mean, it's supposed to be valuable. Valuable is your contribution. So I don't see how his stats were considered to be valuable. He had 6 interceptions this year instead of 18. That's so Lamar Jackson only had 4. So maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't know. But the point is, they keep doing Lamar Jackson dirty. They do. They just keep hating on him. And all I see is a man that goes to work and does his job and not in trouble. I don't see any justifiable reason that you would just hate on somebody. It's unprovoked. It's unjustifiable. And it's just lingering hatred. And I feel like it's the same faction of people that left him to languish for last in the first round. So. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all next time. I'll probably schedule for tomorrow. So if you see where it says we're going live, just click on the notify me and it'll let you know when we're live. All right, y'all. Good night. Thank y'all so much. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with What She Said.